Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sterling TV 19 as we are back here for Sterling versus Collingswood, and we are back here with some girls volleyball, one of our second stream of the year, actually. And Sterling, coming into this matchup, pretty powerful, really the favorite to win this one. Sterling 7-2, 7-1 in the division. They're 2-2 at home and 5-0 away. And they're a pretty powerful team going against Collingswood, who's 4-4, 4-4 in the division, 2-3 at home and 2-1 at away. And head-to-head in the last 5 games, Sterling has won the last 2. Collingswood won the 2 before that, and Sterling won the one furthest, which was, September 8th, 2022. Sterling is 1-0 on the year against Collingswood this year. That game was played on the 12th of September. Sterling they won 2-0. Johanna Dunnings, the senior, had 10 digs and 11 assists, and junior Skylar Anderson had 10 service points and 4 aces, and the Ariana Margarine had 8 kills in that big win against Collingswood. So Sterling, definitely the favorite to win this one. Christine Brennan is the coach for the Knights, her first year coaching. In their last 5 games, they're 4-1. Their last game against Burlington Township, they won 3-2 in 5 sets. Sophomore Ariana Margarine leads the team in kills with 33, service points with 52, and aces with 19. Senior libero Danica Zane, who is inactive today, in her place, it'll be Daniela Ibrahimi, who will be taking her place at the libero spot. But she leads the team in digs with 52, and senior Johanna Dunnings leads the team in assists with 82. Senior McKenna Fossbender leads the team in blocks with 7. In their last 5 matchups against the Collingswood, as I mentioned, the Knights are 3-2. On the Collingswood side of things, they're coached by Kevin Lamb. They're 4-4 on the season. Senior Madeline Golia has a team-leading 55 kills on the season, tied for digs with sophomore Tatum Hinson with 48 each and has 25 aces. Senior Jill Lodgerin has 108 assists and has 27 aces. They are 2-3 in their last 5 as we're getting stuff started here. Big hit there from Margarine. It hits the ground. What a nice play there from Margarine to get stuff started here for Collingswood. Against Collingswood. A lot of technical difficulties happening around Sterling Channel 19 right now. Our monitor's down, so I'm not necessarily sure what's going on my screen here, but we're going to continue going on here. Johanna Dunning serves it. Gets bounced back, hit over the net. Johanna Dunnings gets a tip on it. Margarine hits it, and Ibrahimi sends it back over. That one drops inbounds, and that one will be awarded to Collingswood. So I'm joined by Max Zubak and Richie Williams on the headset at the moment. We're getting a monitor finally back here after that small tip there from Johanna Dunnings that went right under the net. So now to serve is number 10, Madeline Golia. She sends it over. Ibrahimi gets a touch on it. Dunnings hits it back up. Anderson sends it over. It's a free ball here for Collingswood. Collingswood has room to work. They're ready to hit it over. A big slam, and Margarine can't handle it. That was a nice play there from Collingswood.
It was just all power, It was catching them off guard with a nice, I'm pretty sure it's a spike. Volleyball's not my sport, but it was a good hit, threw them off guard there.
So a big kill there from Collingswood as they take a 3-1 lead in this first set. Here's the serve from Golia. A nice bump there from Margarine. Dunning sets it up for D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio can't capitalize. A free ball there for the Knights, trying to catch them off guard. Dunnings hits it up for D'Annunzio. A big hit and a nice block there from Collingswood as they increase their lead to 3. So Golia serving another one here. A nice bump by D'Annunzio. Dunnings tries to catch them off guard. Collingswood catches them off guard. And now Sterling falling down to 4. And it looks like Christine Brennan is looking for the timeout after a rough start here for the Knights.
It's a great start for Collingswood. Keep catching them off guard. Be unpredictable in your moves. Be good at finding solutions as the plays go.
So Sterling is 7-2 in first place in the conference. Collingswood is at 4-4, and they are 4th in the conference. Cinnaminson at 7-4, 5-3 in the division. Burlington Township 7-7, 4-4 in the division. Northern Burlington is 5-7 and 3-5 in the division, and Pennsauken is 3-9 and 1-7 in the division. So taking a look at the Sterling stats here, Skylar Anderson leads the way with 10 kills, 31 digs, 3 assists, 44 service points, and 10 aces. As we keep going down, take a look at some of the highlight players. Johanna Dunnings has 12 kills, 4 blocks, 47 digs, 82 assists, 44 service points, and 12 aces. And if we keep going down even more, Ariana Margarine has 33 kills, 50 digs, 7 assists, 52 service points, and 19 aces. So Sterling has a lot of powerhouses. As I mentioned, Danica Zane out today. She is inactive. Their other senior, Isabella Scott, one of their senior captains, is limited. It's her first game coming back from an ankle injury that she suffered on September 18th. And Kennedy Davis continues to be inactive for the Knights for the past couple of games, as there's a big point there from the Knights to try and get them back in action. It looks like the junior, Gabby Schmidt, is going to sub in here. So Gabby Schmid, one of the better servers on this Sterling team, tries to get it over, doesn't get enough on it. Sets a point there for the Panthers. So a big divisional matchup between the Sterling Knights and the Collingswood Panthers, one of our bigger rivals in every sport, and that does not include girls volleyball. So Schmid bumps it up, gets to the outside. Margarine with a big hit, a nice block there from Collingswood to try and keep it up in the air. Collingswood tips it over. Dunnings with a nice set. There's a bump. Margarine with the slap. Can't get enough on it. So both teams kind of reeling here, and it bumps. And Collingswood doing a great job of capitalizing on the chances they're given.
I mean, it was a good back-and-forth volley, but just they got it over the net barely. Kind of kept them off guard, a little more cautious, trying to see, but they just couldn't get the job done because Collingwood their 7th point.
So we can't see the scoreboard right now. 7-2 the score. Collingswood in the lead over the Knights. That one hit out, and now that makes it 7-3. So Madeline Golia, really the lead pioneer for this Panthers team, as that's a point there for the Knights. Golia having a great season with 55 kills, 48 digs, 25 aces, and with her senior partner Jill Lodgren having 18 kills, 21 digs, 108 assists, and 27 aces. Really that 1-2 punch for the Collingswood Panthers. And I know Lodgren, along with Angelucci, who's also on this team, multi-sport athletes. I was thinking about that as I was doing the stat sheet. 2 names we said a lot for girls softball this past spring, myself and Brian McLernan, as Sterling hits it back over. Anderson, another one of those softball players, getting it ready here for the Knights. Bit of a weird bounce there for Fosbender. Sterling does get it over, and now Collingswood gonna have to send over a free one. Now the Knights have some room to play. Dunnings sets it up for Rodriguez. Rodriguez hits it, and it bounces in the middle. Janelli Rodriguez, great placement there, and now the Knights getting back into 2.
It's what you got to do, you know. It's great to see, you know, a slow build comeback, though. You take advantage of the volley. You try to get them to lose some confidence. That's what's working.
Fosbender with the nice serve there, making this 7-6 now. So Sterling coming within 1, and Max and Richie. I mean, when it comes to volleyball, I say it a lot. This is one of those sports where you get some momentum, it could go in your way for a while, but it's also one of those sports where it's the easiest to lose that momentum, because really a team can start firing like all hell breaks loose almost. So, I mean, Sterling does have to be careful, make sure Collingswood can't advance, but now Sterling really stepping on the gas here as Fosbender gets another one here for the Knights, and they take their first lead of the game, and Collingswood calls a timeout.
I mean, as you had said, this very back-and-forth momentum constantly shifts. Volleyball is similar to basketball in that way. At least in my eyes, every game can be compared to similar to basketball in the sense it's just back and forth, you're up and down, constant volleyball.
And as I mentioned before, looking at the other team's stats, Madeline Golia, really one of these pioneers for the girls. 55 kills, 48 digs, 25 aces. Jill Lodgren as well, the senior, with 18 kills, 21 digs, 108 assists, and 27 aces. 2 of those big names that really stick out on the stat sheet for me. Sophia Angelucci, another one of those multi-sport athletes with 11 kills, 12 blocks, 4 digs, and 4 aces. And I mean, continuing to go down, and Tatum Hinson, a young girl for this team, sophomore, 46 kills, a block, 48 digs, 4 aces, and 4 assists, and 13 aces. So definitely a pretty good squad, this Collingswood team. 8-7 the score, the Knights in favor. Collingswood coming back from a timeout. Both teams have called at least one timeout. so far in this game. The Knights were down by 5, but got back into leading contention as they are up, as I mentioned, 8-7. So Sterling sends one over the offside, trying to catch Collingswood off guard. Collingswood definitely suspected it, but that one's going out. And Sterling gets another point to increase their lead to 2. It is 9-7.
I mean, the setup that kind of went into a bit of a push, it looked like it could have been something to catch them off guard, but it just didn't do it.
Fosbender sends one over. A weird touch there from Collingswood. And now the Knights trying to pull away. It's 10-7. So Fosbender doing a great job. Has gotten really found her strike there with her serving. Doing a good job of keeping it in bounds, but placing it in some pretty hard spaces where Collingswood cannot get to it. Marjorie with a nice dig. Rodriguez tries to send one over. It's blocked. Blocked again. Sterling keeps it up. Dunnings hits it to Marjorie. Marjorie sends it over. It's a free one here for Collingswood. Collingswood trying to get it over. There's basically a free one for the Knights, but a weird touch from Fosbender. Dunnings keeps it in. What a great hustle play. And Sterling sends it back over. What a back and forth rally this has been. Sterling keeping it up. Sterling in control. Marjorie shoots it. And a nice dig there from Collingswood. And it hits the net, and Sterling takes that point. What a rally from both teams. It is now 11-7.
That's what I mean by saying volleyball is just about the same as basketball in pace, where it's just so back and forth. You never know what's going to happen. But the difference is only one team can score during these types of things.
I mean, a point awarded to Collingswood, so they finally get back on the board, making this 11-8. And when I said when Marjorie shot it, I meant to it was like a bullet coming from wrong. I hope you guys know. I did not get it confused with some of our other sports, such as basketball and soccer and sports of that.
The rest of them.
Nature, yeah. So a nice serve. Sterling plays it. And a nice shot there from Dunnings. Keeps it in bounds. No attempt really made there from Collingswood, as this game is now 12-8. Some younger girls out here for the Knights today. One more important one, Daniela Ibrahimi, substituting the libero Danica Zane, who is inactive today. So Ibrahimi getting her first varsity minutes actions as the libero. Zane, a senior, so Ibrahimi will be substituting her spot next year anyways. There's a nice dig by Ibrahimi. Rodriguez sends one over, and it hits the ground, and Rodriguez is on fire. And so are the Knights as they increase their lead to 5. It's 13-8.
Rodriguez is composure incarnate. She's that good at just keeping herself calm, thinking well as she goes, and making plays like that. She's done it once prior to this, and now twice.
Now a big hit there from Collingswood. Can't stay in bounds. So the Knights really reeling now. 14-8 the score. They're up by 6 in this first set. Anderson looking for a great serve there. Just gets it over the net. A nice tap back from Collingswood. A nice dig from Ibrahimi. Anderson sends it over in a spot where they can't get it. Cassidy Moore tried to make the play, but Anderson just too good. And then leads now to 7. It's 15-8. Okay, well now Anderson serving it. That one just a bit. Oh no, it's right in bounds there. Thought that one was a little bit too powerful. But they call it in, and it is now 16-8. And now Sterling really running away with this one. And there's a timeout called from the Collingswood bench. So Sterling was down by 5 and almost has scored, 11 unanswered, maybe 11-1 in this run. So our next TV game, as I mentioned soccer before, will be girls soccer tomorrow on the turf against Eastern. It'll be starting at 7 p.m. And another game to be excited about is Friday, 3:45. It'll be field hockey against Glassboro. So our second game, we will be covering them, and Friday night, the football Knights will be going to Collingswood. They will be going away to face the Panthers in football action. That will be starting at 6 p.m. The football team picked up their their second win of the year against Camden. No, not Camden. Oh, my goodness. I'm off my game today. Gloucester Catholic in a very, very rainy, gloomy Saturday game starting at approximately 11 o'clock. The Knights held on to a 20-13 lead thanks to 2 rushing touchdowns by Jace Ollie Ward and a pick 6 from JoJo Carter. And Eddie Sears coming up with a bunch of big defensive plays for the Knights as we get back to volleyball here. Anderson tries to send one over. Sterling trying to tip it back to Johanna Dunnings with a nice dig there. Johanna Dunnings just has to send over a free one, and now Collingswood is in action. Hits it up, big powerful shot here. A nice dig from Anderson, but not enough. And Collingswood getting back on the board.
It's very impressive, the dexterity it takes to make a play like that. Nothing could come from it, but it was still a great effort nonetheless.
So big serve there. Sterling smartly lets that one go out. It's a great job from Ibrahimi and Anderson to just let that one fly by, as it's now 17-9. Sterling still up by 8.
You don't realize till you're here in person how much of an intelligence-based game this is.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to be so alert all the time. It's a very impressive sport to be good at.
It's a very great point, Max. That's a nice tap over. That's number 22, Anastasia Madden. Very nice play there. And I mean, Max, that's an amazing point. We don't mention that very often, but to know that just the boundaries of out of bounds is so close, and to make that split decision to let that one fly by you, it's pretty difficult.
Especially when you're in a court for something different, the lines are a little harder to see. You've got to really see them as kind of lines in the sand. You got to remember where you are, the power you need from where you are. It's a lot more math, really, that you have to do in your head than you'd ever expect going into trying a sport like this.
So D'Annunzio with a big hit, a little bit too hard, and now Collingswood going to serve it. Nice dig there from Anderson. Dunning says she's got it, hits it up towards D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio just taps it forward, and that's all she needs. 18-11 the score, the Knights up by 7.
A miscue leads to a point. It's unpredictable what can happen in games like this. If I were out there making a misplay like that, we had both gone up for it at the same time. That's not resulting in a point if I'm out there. They know exactly what they're doing. They're on varsity for a reason.
So Janelli Rodriguez ready to serve this one away. And Collingswood, just like Max said, being smart and letting that one fly by. As this is now a 6-point game, Knights up 18-12. So now Anastasia Madden ready to serve this one away for Collingswood. Hits it. A nice dig there from the Knights. Dunning sends it back over, trying to catch Collingswood off guard, but can't. And now Collingswood ready to hit this one. And that one stays in bounds. What a nice hit from Golia. It's now a 5-point lead for the Knights, 18-13.
There have been multiple plays from both sides that have been able to thread the needle like that, stay inside, and it's been, great fun watching just those precise plays, those nice hits that make you think, was it in, was it out? When the point comes up on the scoreboard, you're like, whoa, how did they make that happen?
Yeah. Collingswood serves it, a weird bump. Johanna Dunnings recovers, and a free ball goes over for Collingswood. Collingswood really reeling now. So here's another one for Golia. She sends it down, and it's Sterling. Point. So definitely perhaps trickled out of bounds there. It's now a 6-point lead for the Knights, 19-13.
I mean, case in point from what I just said, it's really hard to tell, especially while you're here, you're seated down. It's kind of hard to tell with, the ref's ladder here. It's the steps.
So replay, as we mentioned, monitor having some technical difficulties, so replay said it was out. Ref having a conversation. So we're looking at a replay here that unfortunately here in the booth we cannot see, but showing the people at home. So point is still awarded to the Knights. So the Lady Knights 6 points away from taking this first set. Coming back, being down 5 at one point. Dunning sends this one over. Nice dig there, but it was a free ball. Ibrahimi gets it. Johanna to Skylar. And there's a point for the Knights. 20-13 the score.
I mean, it was a good play, by a libero who's just able to play throughout the middle, make the good decisions that lead to the points you need to inch closer to the first set win. And that's exactly what Ibrahimi was able to do there.
A bit of early timing there from Golia.
Glad to see another serve from Johanna Dunnings.
So it looks like she just mistimed it there, and we get another serve, as Richie mentioned, for Johanna Dunnings. Nice dig there. Pop up, and a free ball for the Lady Knights. Hits it forward. And Dunning's trying to catch him off guard, but can't. And now Collingswood going the other way. Golia gets a big hit. Ibrahimi, what a nice dig. And now over to D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio gets it forward. And now Collingswood playing around with it on their side. A nice dig from D'Annunzio. Dunnings hits it over. Good back and forth rally. There's a free ball coming over for the Knights. Margarine to Dunnings. Dunnings to Fosbender. Fosbender hits it over, doesn't get enough on it, and it's awarded to the Knights. Maybe a net infraction there.
We've seen a lot of setter dumps from Johanna Dunnings today.
So Dunnings ready to serve it. Very powerful serve. Collingswood almost too hot to handle. So it gets sent back over. Margarine to Dunnings. Dunnings to Anderson. Anderson fires. And it tries to get in. Oh. And Collingswood can't handle it. The lead's to 10 now. It's 23-13. The Silver Knights.
I mean, the ball kind of tripping itself over the net. There's a little bit of confusion for Collingswood to go through, but regardless, it gave the Knights the point, which is what they wanted and what they need to get this 1-0 in the set here.
Another serve from Dunnings.
So Dunnings hits it over. Collingswood, a bit of a miscommunication there. At that point's awarded to the Knights. So they're one away from winning this one, 24-13 in this first set. The Knights have dominated ever since being down 5 early. It was 7-2, and the Knights just really rallied. Dunnings hits it over. Collingswood, good communication there. Golia taps it over. Nice dig there from Ibrahimi. And there's the point for the Knights that they needed. What a smart play there from the senior Johanna Dunnings. 25-13, your final score. So what a play there from the Knights. As we'll be back in a little bit. But first, let's meet the Knights.
Johanna Dunnings, senior, setter, Summerdale.
Danica Zane, senior, libero, Stratford.
McKenna Fossbenner, senior, middle, Stratford.
Isabel Scott, senior, opposite hitter, Summerdale.
Gabby Schmid, junior, outside hitter in DS, Laurel Springs.
Abby D'Annunzio, junior, outside hitter, Laurel Springs.
Kennedy Davis, junior, DS, Stratford.
Daniela Ibrahimi, junior, DS Libero, Stratford.
Skylar Anderson, junior, DS hitter, Summerdale.
Janelle Rodriguez, junior, middle, Stratford.
Brianna Colon, junior, outside hitter, Lindenwold.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Hello everyone and welcome back to Sterling TV 19 as the Knights took that first set 25-13, absolute dominance. After being down 5 early in the set, it was 7-2. The Knights come back and make it a 25-13 game, only allowing Collingswood to score 6 points as we are back here at the Castle. I'm Daniel Leakin, joined by Max Zubak and Richie Chill King Williams. And we're back here for some action. Girls volleyball action, I should say. Second stream of the year. The next girls volleyball game will be next week. It'll be against Burlington Township. A very big game for the Knights. It's their last divisional matchup here at the Castle and in general for their season. So it looks to me that the Knights went on a 23-6 run against the Collingswood Panthers. I mean, just how impressive is that?
It's incredibly impressive. Like we're talking about, volleyball is a game that thrives off of the players' intelligence, and that clearly showed. A 23-6 run takes a lot of skill, a lot of patience, a lot of creativity in the moves, a lot of communication with the teammates, and it worked out incredibly well in the Knights' favor over the Panthers here.
Most people that play sports will say that it's just as easy to lose momentum as it is to gain it.
It's definitely a big game here for the Knights, and definitely a big first set, being without their starting libero, Danica Zane, their senior. But, I mean, in my opinion, Daniela Ibrahimi has done a great job in filling in.
I mean, I've known her for a while now. It's the sport that she thrives in the most. She's been committed to this sport of volleyball for so long now, and she's been, on the bench behind someone who's great at that position in Danica Zane. I'm not surprised she's doing this well for her first, official varsity minutes starting for this Sterling Lady Knights team. It's done very well kind of facilitating at the libero position.
So Dunning's ready to serve. Popped up here for Collingswood. They sent it the other way. Ibrahimi ready to play it. Ibrahimi to Dunnings. Dunnings to Fosbender. Fosbender slams it, but cannot get it home. A nice tip over there for Collingswood. D'Annunzio ready to hit it. D'Annunzio hits it in a perfect spot. Abby D'Annunzio with a nice hit. 1-0 Knights.
I mean, if you see here, it gets put up by Dunnings, hits it nice with the right arm, leaves no position for Collingswood to attack back from it. Now they're down 1-0.
Another serve from Dunnings.
So Dunnings hits it over. Collingswood plays it. Collingswood trying to get some momentum going their way. They haven't been able to so far. Dunnings to Margarine. Margarine from that back slot. And what a shot that was from Margarine.
Beautiful hit.
Almost like a bullet coming from that back line. It's a 2-0 lead for the Knights.
There's just no one there to help out when it gets hit off the wrists there. The Collingswood player, they just can't do anything about it.
So Dunnings with a really nice serve. Gets in that back line quickly, but a nice bump there from Cassidy Moore. Hit back over to the Knights. Isabella Scott seeing her first minutes of action. As I mentioned, she'll be limited for this game. It's her first game back since September 18th. If there's another point for the Knights, it's 3-0.
It's just great communication, isn't it? It creates plays like this. It leaves Collingswood to kind of stumble over their choices. It leads to 3-0 start of this second game here.
There's nothing more important than volleyball than communication.
So there's a bump there from Collingswood. That one goes out, and Sterling is up to a 4-0 lead. And as I mentioned before, Isabella Scott suffered a bit of an ankle sprain, and as I mentioned, it's her first game back in around 2 weeks, just a little less. Made great recovery. Cleared for action just the other day, seeing her first minutes on limited time against Collingswood. There's a hit there for D'Annunzio. Sends a free ball over. Moore hits it. Now Collingswood going the other way, as that one tips off of Ibrahimi's fingers, and Collingswood gets their first point of the set.
I mean, it's an important point to get the first one going. Once you get 1 point, it can lead to the floodgates opening, or it can lead to just that slimmer of hope and then the light at the end of the tunnel going out. It all depends on how you play off of a point rather than how you play to get one.
Nice bump there from Ibrahimi to Dunnings. Dunnings did send it over, but Collingswood read it. Collingswood hitting it over, and that's a nice hit there to get them back into some working contention. That's Tatum Hinson on the hit, the sophomore. One of the younger girls on this team, a pretty senior-filled Collingswood roster. That's a big hit from that back line to start it up. Anastasia Madden getting it started there for Collingswood. That is Madden's 4th ace of the season, making it a 3-4 game here for Collingswood. Madden tries to get it low sailing over. What great hit there from D'Annunzio. But Collingswood now working in action. A free ball sent over. Ibrahimi to Dunnings. Dunnings to Fosbender. Fosbender slaps it down, but a nice dig there. D'Annunzio slaps it down. Another nice dig, and that point still goes to the Knights.
It's great attempts from Collingswood to play on the defensive, but you can't do it once you've bumped it behind yourself to go past the line. That's where maybe playing with a little more distance from the ball might work, or getting someone else to come over, set it instead of forcing yourself to make a bump happen there. It just is unfortunate for them to not be able to secure a point off of something that's probably more fixable than it appeared.
So definitely a rough hit there for Collingswood, and now Sterling increasing their lead to 3 here in this second set.
An ace from Abby D'Annunzio. We'll see her serve again.
So D'Annunzio taking this one for the Knights. Junior player. Skilled in all facets of the game, mainly her striking abilities to get the kills for the Knights. As there's a pop up there. A nice bump there from Margarine. Margarine hits it down. And that one is awarded to the Knights. Margarine with that powerful shot.
Beautiful
Increases
hit
the lead
for
to
Margarine.
4.
It's going to be one of the closest calls, however. It's not like the other one where it was way off from before in that first set. It looked like it could have been on or off the line, but regardless, it leads to a Knights point.
So 33 kills in her sophomore year. As there's a nice serve there from D'Annunzio, which gives her another ace she can count on the season. D'Annunzio, that's her 7th ace of the season, 2 today, 5 overall.
Back-to-back aces, pocket aces, quite the hand.
Quite the hand indeed.
Playing the cards right for sure, Sterling.
D'Annunzio here with another one. Bit of a low sinking shot, a nice dig there. And a bit of a miscommunication there with the set. Looking for goalie on that outside, and now the lead has increased to 6.
Communication's been a bit rough this second going for Collingswood. If they let the Knights get to 10 here before they even get to 5, it might be time to consider a timeout.
That one goes to Sterling, and now they're really pulling away from the Panthers. It's 10-3.
Another serve from D'Annunzio.
D'Annunzio had the ball for a pretty long time here. He hasn't really gotten it away, and there's that announcer's jinx that is rumored to happen at all times, and there it is right there. D'Annunzio getting subbed out after that one. A great series of serves from her, but she'll get subbed out for Gabby Schmid.
He did it to Schmid before. He did it to D'Annunzio today.
That did happen last time, I'm pretty sure.
No, I mean, it happened in the first set.
Whistle blows. So, Golia gonna get another shot here. Ball's up. Nice dig there from Schmid. Hits it back over. Collingswood has some room to work. Ibrahimi hits it up. Dunnings looking for Margarine. Margarine slams it home. What a nice play there for Margarine. Increases this Sterling lead to 7.
It's like Collingswood shovels might be a little rusty. The digs just were not working there. It's been a great effort from the Knights to force plays like that. And boy, have they been forcing them. It's been working out crazily well.
So Fosbenner sends one in that back line. Golia hits it. It is now 12-4 for your Lady Knights.
I mean, another bump behind. It just hasn't been going in their favor for things like that, where just the bumps haven't been working. They haven't been even. It's been rough for Collingswood getting things like that to work.
Another serve from Fosbenner.
So the score is 12-4. Now 13-4 here on the scoreboard.
I don't know who's not paying the phone bill, but the communication's lost. It has been really difficult for Collingswood to get anything going. Once the ball's in the air, they've got to talk to one another.
Yeah. And now the wheels are falling off a little bit here for Collingswood. It's 14-4.
Calls it T.
And there's a timeout. Definitely good timing there as the Knights are really starting to have a 10-point lead here in this second set. So looking at the standings here, Sterling, I mean, after a bit of a rough year last year, 7-2 and 7-1 in the division. They're 2-2 at home and 5-0 away. And Collingswood here at 4th place with 4-4 and 4-4 in the division, and 2-3 at home and 2-1 at the away center. And behind Sterling, Cinnaminson, they've already beat twice, 7-4, 5-3, 4-3 at home, 3-1 and away. And I mean, such an important couple games here for Sterling coming up. It's going to be very important here for the Knights to. Yeah, there's a bit of a problem on the floor. It looks like someone threw up. Maybe water. It looked a little gross for me at first, but I guess I think it's just the lighting from the floor. I might be very, very wrong. It's just water. Excuse me, everyone. That's my apologies there. Hopefully I don't announcer's jinx that one. I don't think anyone really wants to see that.
Well, I mean, it feels like you kind of did. You said it was, then it wasn't.
No, but we don't.
No.
We want to make sure it wasn't. Yeah.
Well, we've got confirmation. These lamps just really like to trick us.
Yeah, they do. So Fosbenner going to serve it here for the Knights. Our next TV game will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. on the turf. It'll be girls soccer going against Eastern, the Coaches Cup final rematch here at the Castle. Girls soccer on a little bit of a winning streak, I guess I could say. 3 games in a row where they have had a pretty good time of handling things. Last game, 3 goals, Montgomery Dram, Elise Simpson, and Fallon Shinseki on the goals. And I mean, they're really reeling now. They kind of got the wheels back onto them, and man, they're moving.
Last time we covered them, they were having a bit of a rough start, but doing well now.
Yeah. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish.
It's about the end record.
Exactly. Definitely looking for that playoff spot, but so are here the Lady Knights here right now. So Fosbender sends it over to the Collingswood side. Collingswood with a bit of a rough bump, and Sterling now increasing their lead to 11.
It has been a rough start for Collingswood for the second set. I understand this game, like I had said, it's very hard when you don't have the communication going, and they just haven't. Even post-timeout, they're just not really talking to each other well. They're not utilizing the boundaries they have. They don't know when to play, when not to, and it's cost them a ton of points here.
So Fosbender sends one over. Collingswood, the nice set, hit back over to the Sterling side. Dunning's trying to catch them off guard, but Collingswood recovers. Collingswood with a big hit, a nice dig there from the Knights. Dunnings hits it back up. Schmid hits it over, and she keeps it in bounds. What a great job there from the young junior, Gabby Schmid.
It's just a wondrous hit, and it's really good at finding the slot there right towards the back corner. Great play.
The ball wanted to go home. Ran out of the gym, but now we get it back here as a 16-4 score here in the second set. Fosbender hits that one out and now makes it 16-5, one of Collingswood's first points in a pretty long time.
I mean, I even thought about complimenting the server and it went wrong. I feel like the jinx is telepathic at this point. But it's just, it's bound to happen every once in a while where it just doesn't work out. And Collingswood's got to really take this point and run with it. Got to make a comeback now or it's never going to come.
So hit over to the Knights. Scott going to jump up, and she's blocked. Absolutely shell-shocked on that side. What a nice block there from Collingswood. It's at 16-6.
It's the defensive effort they've been missing, and I guess the offensive mistakes they've been failing to exploit. And now they're slowly getting the wheels back on, like it's a break in a NASCAR race. They're just trying to, screw them back on.
But not anymore, as that serve goes a little waywire, and now it's 17-6 for the Knights. Skylar Anderson checking in here for Isabella Scott.
Yeah, well, wheels are meant to roll, They're going to go away.
Yeah, they'll go away eventually, just like the ball did in the middle of this set. So 17-6 the score. Anderson hits it over. Nice bump there from Golia. And a hit there for Collingswood, and she keeps it up. What a great play from Schmid. Dunnings keeps it in. Rodriguez sends it over. But Collingswood has some room to work with. Collingswood trying to hit it back over. A nice bump there from Anderson. Sterling looking to try hit it over. So there's a nice set there from Schmid. Dunnings hits it over for Rodriguez. Rodriguez tries to hit it back over to Collingswood. Collingswood sends one over in the middle of everyone. And what a nice long point there from both sides. Great determination. A big diving play from Schmid and another bench diving play from Dunnings. But this one goes to Collingswood.
Great effort from both sides of the net. The only issue was Sterling couldn't put in that little extra bit to get past Collingswood on that point. But it's still a double-digit deficit that Collingswood has to overcome.
So here come the Panthers as there's a serve here. Number 33, Samantha Black. Big hit from Margarine. Unexpected off of that little hop. But now Collingswood sends it back over. It's a free ball. Schmid to Dunnings. Dunnings to Rodriguez. Rodriguez can't get enough touch on it. And now it's over on the Collingswood side. A big hit there from Collingswood. Schmid keeps it up. Dunnings keeps it up. Ibrahimi sends it back over. And now Collingswood back in action. Sumi going that far side quite a lot as that one gets under Anderson's knee. Makes it 17-8.
I think it's very possible Anderson might have just thought that one was going out. But, that's the psyche of the game. You got to wonder, do you bet on it going out or do you bank on trying to keep it in play? And those are the decisions that cause points like that.
So Black sends it back over. Ibrahimi gets it up. Dunnings gets it up and now sends it back to Schmid. Golia with a nice bump. Now sends it back over. And too much of a touch there as that one goes back to the Knights.
Just a little too much on that one. Goes back to the 10-point deficit. The Knights are 7 away from their second game win here.
Second set, actually,
Second
Max.
set.
18-8 the score. It'll be Margarine taking this one for the Knights.
Look, I said this wasn't my sport before we started.
You kind of learn as you go, Max. And I mean, Max will probably be taking my spot next year, so you're going to have to learn as you go. That's one of the most important parts There's a point there for the Knights.
We will be researching.
Yeah. That's what you got to do.
I've got friends who know.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you figure it out. Richie's one who knows. Margarine sends it back over. Nice bump there from Golia. Collingswood sends it over. Margarine with a nice keep. Dunnings hits it up for D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio with a big slap and the kill.
Just barely getting over the net.
D'Annunzio having a great game. The junior, as Sterling is 5 points away from clinching glory.
Abby D'Annunzio's been getting a good amount of kills. Starting to think she might classify as a game hunter at this point. She's doing so well at just finding the right time to give the ball the power it needs to regain some momentum, get the points rolling in.
So post-game to follow if the Knights can take this set. 21-8 the score. Margarine with the serve. Not enough to get it over. So it's 21-9.
One of very few of the serving mistakes that we've seen
from either side, really.
Yeah, it's been pretty clean serving-wise.
So there's a nice bump there from Anderson. Miscommunication on that far side. It's 21-10 for the Knights. The Knights 4 points away from clinching this second set. Their first set, it was 25-13. They were down 7-2 to start, and they went 25-6, or excuse me, 23-6 to come back and win that first set. Hit up to D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio with a big slap, but a little bit too powerful there from her. As now Collingswood trying to creep back into this one as they're only down by 10.
Now, obviously, the large lead is going to give any team confidence, and Sterling definitely had a lot of it, but there's a line that you need to draw between being confident and being a little too overconfident or getting a little too cocky with your lead. It's obviously, it's a very fine line, but you cannot, blur those lines. It leads to things where you kind of start to lose the communication.
So now the Knights suddenly find themselves down by 8 as their lead, up by 8. Excuse me, thank you, Mr. K. Got to look from Max there, too. Up by 8 as their lead is starting to disintegrate. The score on the scoreboard here, it is 21-13. D'Annunzio hits it to that far side. Ibrahimi hits it up for Dunnings. Dunnings back to Margarine. Margarine fires it, and that's a nice bump from Collingswood. Literally weaves its way through the ceiling. Collingswood keeps it up. That was impressive. Janelle Rodriguez hits it over, and that one stays in.
Beautiful rally from both sides.
Richie said it best. 22-13 the score.
I mean, good. It goes over the old tube on the ceiling, stays in play.
Yeah.
That gives them the hope.
Wow.
But you know what? I'll tell you, it's the hope that kills you. You go in for the play like that, like, okay, we've got it. All of a sudden, it slips through your fingertips. Regardless, wondrous effort from both sides of the net.
Daniela Ibrahimi with the serve.
Ibrahimi, one of the libero, substituting Danica Zane in this game. The ref's talking to, I think it's D'Annunzio, but looks like Sterling was just laughing, so maybe just jokes. Ibrahimi sends this one over. No, not even an attempt there from Collingswood. There's an ace from Ibrahimi, and Sterling 2 away from clinching this one. That's Ibrahimi's first ace of the season.
It's quite a nice one.
Yeah. Perfectly carving that far corner. An attempt was made but cannot get it. Now Ibrahimi has a chance for another serve. Sterling up by 10. Ibrahimi just can't get enough angle on that one. So looks like no substitution made for the Knights. So a serve coming here from the Panthers. We'll be seeing the Panthers soon enough as our football team travels Friday night to Collingswood Panthers Stadium at 6 p.m. Sterling, as I mentioned, getting back in the win column earlier in this one as there's an attempt, but unfortunately a fail for the Knights, so now Sterling only up by 8. (23-15) the score here on our scoreboard in the gym. D'Annunzio hits it over. Collingswood hits it back. 2 diving attempts. But it looks like the Sterling front line wasn't ready for that one, as Margarine and Anderson both dive but cannot get it. It's 23-16, the Knights lead.
I mean, it's feeling like they're slowly losing the grip on the lead, but that doesn't mean the lead's out of their grasp yet. But it's looking like it might get closer and closer to being a tight set.
Yeah. So
now you want to say.
Collingswood scored 13 in the first set, now have 17 here in the second. They send it over. Ibrahimi gets the bump up to Dunnings. Dunnings up to Fosbender. Fosbender taps it over, but a nice dig there, and that's a nice block there. Number 22, Anastasia Madden. Huge block there for Collingswood as they're only down by 5. Now Sterling really on their heels now. Have to get only 2 more points to clinch the set. There's a nice dig there. Fosbender's just gonna have to send over a free one, so now Collingswood has some room to work. Over to that far side, Golia trying to slam it home, and she does. So a timeout is definitely gonna be called here from Christine Brennan. She does not like what she sees, and now Collingswood only within 4.
It was a nice kill there for Collingswood. They brought it, like you said, they brought the points, I guess, deficit to 4. And it's got to be a little worrying if you're a part of the Lady Knights team here. You're like, whoa, 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 hey, hang on, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, wait, whoa. Stop scoring.
Yeah.
Stop scoring.
So our next 3 games here, it'll be tomorrow, girls soccer on the turf, tomorrow at 7 p.m. going against the Eastern Vikings. On Friday at 3:45 p.m. it'll be field hockey going against Glassboro. And Friday at 7 p.m. it'll be football against the Collingswood Panthers. So an action-packed week this week here for Sterling TV 19 after a bit of a slow one to say last week. Didn't have many streams. Felt a little relieving for some of us. Some of us wanted to get back out there and start, get stuff started again. Tomorrow, a big game for the Lady Knights, as I mentioned, on a 3-game win streak. But definitely their first time playing on the turf, so definitely it's going to take some getting used to for some of the newer girls who didn't play on there last year. Ball's up here for the Knights. Nice dig up to Fosbender. Fosbender almost gets blocked. Collingswood keeping it up. And that one hits the net. Oh, excuse me, I think I got that one wrong. I can't really see because of our monitor here in the booth and Mason Tinkham in the ref stand in front of us, but that one awarded to Collingswood, and they're within 3.
That last ball was declared out as it hit the antenna on the net.
Thank you, Richie. So Fosbender tries to hit it back over, and that one's awarded to the Knights. Looks like a net infraction, and now the Knights within killing distance as they only need 1 more point.
Could be the perfect example. As you get a point, you got to run with it. Especially here, you only got 1 more to go before you secure the game for yourself. It's a great point. You got to win. It's a huge one.
So now Isabella Scott coming in the game here for Skylar Anderson. Johanna Dunnings going to be the one to serve it here for the Knights. 24-20 the score. Sterling needs 1 more. Dunnings ready to serve this one away. Hits it up. Collingswood keeps it up. Trying to catch Sterling off guard. And the miscommunication causes Sterling that point. It's now 24-21.
I mean, that's a common issue that we've seen from Collingswood during this set. Not really something we've seen from Sterling a ton, but when it happens, it kind of starts to burn the house down. You start smelling the smoke from the kitchen. You end up with a fire going all through the oven. You really got to stop it before it gets too big of an issue.
As I mentioned before, it's just as easy to lose momentum as it is to gain it, and this game is clearly proof of that.
So Anastasia Madden there with a nice serve. Sterling with a bit of a miscommunication. 24-22 the score. Sterling won the first set 25-13. They send it over. It's kept up here from the Knights. The Knights trying to catch them off guard. Can't. That one goes out, and the Knights are going to take this second set from the Collingswood Panthers. The Panthers thought they had the Knights in the grasp, but the Knights take the win here, 25-22, and the first set was 25-13. We're going to have a post-game show to follow. We'll be right back at you in just a couple of moments.
It's getting late. I should really go to bed.
Girl, what are you worried about? Come on, it won't hurt if you stay up another hour.
You know what? You're right. It couldn't hurt to stay up for another hour or so. What? It's already 1 a.m.? I didn't even realize it was so late. I'm telling her I'm going to bed. Oh my god, it's 7 a.m. Oh my god, ow! Ugh. Mom, I'm running late. Don't forget to pick up the kids later. All right, I gotta go. Have a good day.
The girls volleyball takes the win 25-13 in the first set and 25-22 in that second set. And we're joined here by Johanna Dunnings. So Johanna, they started to come back a little bit in that second set. You guys shut them down. How's it feel to take the win?
It feels good. You know, we kind of needed that, so yeah.
So you guys have a couple of divisional opponents coming up in these couple of weeks. How important is it to get those wins against those opponents?
It's very important. I think that now is not the time for us to back down and start playing down. We need to continue our play and even play better. So.
And I mean, libero Danica Zane out today and adjusting, with some new people in the lineup. How important was that chemistry for you girls to, really try and get the feel for each other?
It was really important because, me and Danica, we're not going to be here forever. So it's kind of to get other people in and integrate them so that there's not that big of a makeup period after. So it was really important.
Okay, thank you, Joe, for the interview. And we're going to have now Gabby Schmid coming next to me. We interview your brother all the time, but now you're on here for the post-game interview. Take the win here against Collingswood. How does it feel?
It feels good. It feels good.
So, you're stepping into that back line. I mean, definitely one of the newer girls to the lineup, and you're doing a great job making so many effort plays. And, I mean, how does it feel to get the result that you want?
It feels really good, and it feels good to win as a team and just, get to bond on the court together.
And I mean, the Schmidt family all about making adjustments at all times. What adjustments do you need to make, or even that back line needs to make going into the next game?
It's a big step going from setter to a DS. So just always being aware and just keeping your head up even when you make a mistake. It's okay, and you just have to move on.
All right, I appreciate you coming on, Gabby. And last but certainly not least, Daniela Ibrahimi. And I mean, stepping into this role, one of your first times in this varsity lineup as a libero. How does it feel to get that win?
It feels great. It was really exciting. I was a bit nervous because taking in that role, it's really important. But it feels good knowing that we won. It was an important game, so.
And from your standpoint, I asked her, but now I'm going to ask you. Trying to get the feel for some of these girls that you don't really play that often with in that spot. How important was it, as a team to get this win for you?
It was really important, and trying to fill in all the roles that we're missing, which is what we're working on for next year when the seniors leave. But we did well, and I'm happy that we won.
And I mean, you had a great game filling in, and apart from the team, for your own personal standpoint, I'm going to allow you to brag a little bit. How does it feel to, just for you to get a big sigh of relief?
It feels amazing. I was nervous, so I was like, okay, thank God. We did well. We definitely have the chemistry, and we're working to get better. We definitely had a comeback from last year, and we're grateful to the coaches for making us work so hard to get where we are right now.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming on. So Sterling wins 25-13, 25-22. We'll be right back at you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Girls soccer going against Eastern on the turf. I'm Daniel Eakin saying so long, and as always, go Knights.